Hello gamers from around the world, this is Archimedes, the video game enthusiast from Germany, with a video on a rumored Xbox event in April. Okay, as you know, I usually don't do many videos on rumors, but the latest rumor comes from multiple sources, so you should still take this with a grain of salt, but it looks like Xbox is having a gaming event in April. And as always, you can find the sources I quoted in this video in the description down below. The first source is Jez Corden from Windows Central. He is a well-known insider and usually does not put his reputation on the line by just blabbering something out. He had to say the following: "There's another event. That March event that I thought they were leaking before is not the event. There is another event coming, probably in April." And the other source that suggests that an Xbox event in April or May is coming is Mary Jo Foley, who is a journalist at CDNet. She claims that there will be a game-focused virtual event in the coming weeks that will supplement the annual Build conference for Microsoft, which is confirmed to take place in May. And in addition to that, we got the news that Jianjie Liu, apologies if I pronounced his name incorrectly, who is a senior program manager at Microsoft, will give a big talk at the GameStack Live event, which will take place on April 20th and 21st. The focus of this talk will be DirectX 12 being the foundation for Xbox games and PC games. So there's a lot to talk about. It looks like we could get a game-focused event in April from Xbox. We will certainly get developer conferences in April and May, and I have been saying for a while that Xbox needs an event before the big E3 kind of event in June or July, because they have a bunch of games coming before the big fall season and it's time to start talking about them sooner than July. So it only makes sense for Microsoft to have an event in the coming weeks, and in this video we are going to focus on why this sounds plausible and what could be the topics of the gaming event and the confirmed developer conferences in April. But before we go through all of that, I want to ask you for a favor. If you watch this video and end up enjoying yourself, then please consider to hit the like and subscribe button and maybe even turn on the notification bell to not miss out on future content. This doesn't cost you anything, but it helps my channel more than you think, and I would really appreciate your support. Okay, but now let me put all the rumors into perspective. CDNet claims that there will be a What's Next in Gaming event supplementary to the developer conference in May. Actually a little bit upfront, that's why it's hinted as an April event. And Microsoft is having these kind of What's Next in XYZ events for all kinds of things like PC, Windows, etc. And it looks like this month it's time to talk about gaming. Well, and then we have the aforementioned GameStack Live event on April 20th and 21st, which is a developer conference. During this event we will get a lot of information, especially about DirectX 12 Ultimate and what it means for Xbox and PC games. So this will be a tech-focused event and probably not suited for the masses. Although I think there will be quite some interesting information about some of the tools that will help developers to finally utilize all the power in our console. Now, rest assured that I will definitely break down the GameStack Live event here on my channel if we get some interesting information about gaming and console related technologies. But all the rumors point toward a game-focused event in April, and like I said earlier, it would make sense for Microsoft to have such a smaller event before the big game showcase that will take place this summer. Microsoft has already said that they have a big showcase planned for the summer months. My guess is still that it will be in July, just like we had it last year. That will be the event when we will see gameplay for Halo Infinite, which is scheduled to launch this fall. It will also be the event where we get to see some of the Bethesda games, like probably the rumored Starfield, and a bunch of other first-party games like Fable, maybe Avowed, Forza Motorsport or Forza Horizon 5, and so on. So in that summer event we will see the games that will come either during this fall/holiday season or beyond. But we also know that there are a bunch of games coming before the big fall season. Some of the games that were scheduled to actually release last year but got pushed back due to the ongoing pandemic. And if those games come out before, let's say, September, it would be way too late for Microsoft to start talking about those games in a, let's say, July event. And if in April and May the developers will also start to talk about some of the tools and technologies in DirectX 12 Ultimate and so on, it would be cool for those developers to actually be able to show one or two demos. But a developer focused event is probably not the best thing to reveal, for instance, rendering technology that is used in one of the first party games from Microsoft. So if we think about it this way, it would only make sense for Microsoft to have an event, let's say 30 to 45 minutes long, that will focus on games that come out over the course of this year. And let's have a look here which games I am talking about. Of course there is Crossfire X. This multiplayer shooter in the vein of Counter-Strike was supposed to launch last year along with the Xbox Series consoles. I think the big thing about this game is not going to be the multiplayer part, but Microsoft has hired Remedy, makers of games like Alan Wake, Quantum Break and Control, to do a single player campaign. And ever since the delay end of last year, it has gotten really quiet around this game. And since I highly doubt that Xbox is going to launch another shooter this fall in between Call of Duty, Battlefield 6 and their own big first person shooter Halo Infinite, I think that this game is going to come out before the fall season. So it would only make sense for Microsoft to show this game off. And then we have the Microsoft Flight Simulator. This game is scheduled to launch summer this year on consoles. And even though the game is already out on PC, I think it would make sense for them to start talking about the console port and show a little bit more what the game can do and will look like when it's running on the Xbox Series X and S, and if it will come out for the old consoles, which by the way I personally highly doubt. Then we have Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine. This great looking 3D platformer is very close to its finish. Head of Double Fine, Tim Schafer, spoke in a Christmas message last year about them working now on the credits of the game and that this should tell us how far the game is in development. I could see that game be a May, June or July kind of release, and so again it would make sense for them to start showing it off and talk about this game. And then of course there are a bunch of AA or indie games like Bright Memory Infinite, The Ascent, Second Distinction, Warhammer Dark Tide, etc, etc. And of course Stalker 2, which is still scheduled for this year, and again I don't think another shooter will launch in the middle of this fall season. Stalker 2 could easily also be delayed into 2022, but if it's coming out this year they could definitely start talking about it. So as you can see, there is no shortage in possible games that could be shown during such an April event, and the only thing is that this What's Next in Gaming event format for Microsoft could also be more about xCloud or something like that. But then Microsoft has tried to stay in the news almost on a weekly basis, and what better way to fire up the enthusiasm and hype for the Xbox brand by having a smaller to mid-sized gaming event end of April or in the beginning of May to talk about all the aforementioned games and the technology that is used in these games in addition to the developer conferences. But with that I want to come to an end of this video. We will see in the next couple of days or weeks if that rumor turns out to be true. Like I said earlier, I think it would definitely make sense for Microsoft to have such an event and get the news about games like Crossfire X, Psychonauts 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator and so on out there. One thing is clear though, there is no shortage in news and the excitement for gaming is real, my friends. And with that I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and consider sharing this out to other gamers. I would greatly appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Will Microsoft have an Xbox event in April? And if so, what could be the main topic? And besides here on YouTube, you can also hit me up on Twitter, where I share a lot of opinions and gaming discussions. But for now, thank you very much for watching, I see you the next time, and game on!